Hello, everyone. Welcome to a Super Saturday edition of the Live Ones. We are all digging ourselves out from a blizzard here in the Northeast. No word yet on what, if any, events today are going to be postponed, apart from a couple that we've gotten word of. The New Hampshire and the Boston U basketball games are postponed until a later date. But we're going to proceed as if everything else is happening as scheduled in the eastern half of the U.S., and that means a loaded day of action. 6 NBA games, 10 NHL games, and 137 college basketball games to cap. Let's not waste any time and get right to it. Starting off with college basketball and Duke versus Louisville. The Duke Blue Devils collide with the Louisville Cardinals. The Blue Devils avoided the upset loss by defeating Clemson on Tuesday night. That game was way too close for comfort. The Cardinals are looking to rebound from a road loss to Virginia. This line opened up at -8.5 for Duke, but it's been bet down to -6 almost surely as a result of that Clemson game and the overtime. Lost to Florida State last week. People are starting to ask, is this an off year for the Blue Devils? They certainly haven't felt like their usual dominant selves here in Coach K's last season. Don't fall for it. Defensive struggles aside, Duke is the much better team here and has won 4 out of their last 5 games. They're still the 10th ranked offense in the country, averaging 82 points a game. Louisville is stumbling in ACC play and has now lost 5 out of their last 6 bouts, scoring 67 or fewer points each time, and leading to them, of course, firing their head coach, Chris Mack. This should easily be a double-digit victory for Duke. You're getting a bargain price on the Blue Devils this morning at -6. Just go ahead and grab it. So then over to Georgetown and Butler. The atrociousness that is the Georgetown Hoyas continues. They've lost all 6 of their conference games so far, including a 96-73 blowout at UConn on Tuesday night. Butler wasn't faring much better. They were on a 4-game losing streak before finally snapping it with a 72-55 win over Creighton on Wednesday. The Bulldogs have had some severe offensive struggles. They're 210th in adjusted efficiency. They're not shooting the ball well. They're 287th in the country in field goal percentage. Their turnover rate and offensive rebounding rate have been poor as well, so there's really nothing positive to say about Butler on the offensive side of the ball. Georgetown, well, we've documented their struggles a lot over the past couple of weeks. Number 332 in the country in shooting percentage. I don't know what drills Patrick Ewing is running with these guys, but they're clearly not taking. These are just 2 offenses I do not trust even in the slightest to put up any kind of points. I'm on the under 139.5 points today. I just don't think either team hits 70, frankly. Going back to the ACC, Miami and Georgia Tech. I confessed to not being on the Miami hype train a couple of weeks ago, but they've proven me wrong, and they're somehow sitting in first place in the ACC with a 15-5 record. They beat Duke 3 weeks ago. Their 2 conference losses have both come against Florida State, and they've both been by only 1 point. You can't argue with their results so far. Georgia Tech is the opposite. They've underperformed expectations this year. They're currently sitting 14th in the ACC with a 2-6 record ahead of only Virginia Tech, and that's only by a half a game. The Yellow Jackets did pick up a big win on Thursday, upset Florida State 76-61 as a 4.5-point home dog. I kind of think that was a fluke, and we're due for some regression this game. Georgia Tech has failed to cover the spread in any of their last 7 home games against a team with a winning road record. Easy for me to say. Winning road record. Miami has covered the spread in 7 of its 9 ACC games this season. They're the much deeper team offensively. I think you're getting a bargain price for them at -2.5. I'm taking them in this spot. And an interconference showdown between the Big 12 and the SEC, Iowa State versus Missouri. Missouri just had the biggest game of their season, coming within an eyelash of upsetting number 1 Auburn. They were actually leading with a minute 27 left before K.D. Johnson took over and scored 5 points down the stretch to give Auburn the 1-point win. Defensively, Missouri was outstanding. They held Auburn to just 30% shooting, and they did particularly well in containing Jabari Smith. But they played absolutely out of their minds, and they still lost, so this spot just screams letdown for them. The Iowa State Cyclones have been insane at home, 11-2 straight up, and allowing only 57 points a game. The battle between turnovers is going to be key today. Iowa State turns over opponents on 25.4% of possessions. Missouri is a very sloppy team, ranking 310th in college basketball. As far as giving up offensive turnovers, Iowa State is going to exploit that and get themselves over the hump of this spread. Take the Cyclones at home here today, -9 points. And then last but not least in college hoops, we have Wake Forest and Syracuse. Wake ran their win streak to 4 games as they rolled past Boston College on Monday. They're 17-4 on the year overall and in second place in the ACC, just a half game behind Miami. They've had a really impressive offense all year. top 25 in the nation with 80 points a game. While their defense isn't the best, they're not nearly as bad as the Syracuse Orange, who are well outside the top 300 in the country, allowing 75.3 points a game. Honestly, this line is only as close as it is because of the two subpar defenses, but it's just so hard to back Syracuse as any kind of a favorite, even at home, with how much they've been struggling since conference play started. This opened up at Wake -2, and now it's been bet all the way back down to Wake Forest now as a +1 underdog. You got to give me the money line for the extra value there at +105 on their underdog roll there. So yeah, Wake Forest to win outright. So that is it for college basketball. Let's talk hockey. We've got 10 games on the slate today. Two of the ones that I'm looking at, the first one is Panthers and Sharks. It feels like forever since the under hit in a Panthers game, but it did on Thursday night against the Vegas Golden Knights. Wasn't the fault of the Panthers, though, as they netted 2 goals in the third period to bring their total up to 4. Vegas just didn't have an answer for them all game long on offense. The Panthers are playing a San Jose Sharks team that has struggled offensively in recent games, scoring 7 goals in their last 3 games, so expect them to keep the Sharks' offense in check. The Sharks are one of the worst defensive teams in the league, and they played worse during this last couple of games. They gave up 11 goals in their last 3 games. Expect Florida to absolutely feast this afternoon and win this one big. I'm taking them on the puck line, -1.5 goals. A little bit of chalk on it at -125, but with the way these two teams have been playing lately, this is just a mismatch. Over to the Jets and the Blues. These are just 2 bad defenses. During their 6-game losing streak, Winnipeg has given up an average of 4.17 goals per game. The total goals scored has reached or gone over 6 in 15 out of their last 21 games. High-scoring games has also been a notable trend in Blues games recently, as the total has reached or gone over 6 in 9 out of their last 13 games. Just like the Jets, the Blues' defensive core has been giving up dangerous scoring chances all season. Fortunately for the Blues, their offense has been keeping them in games. They've scored 5 or more goals in 4 out of their last 6 games. This game today just screams offensive explosion. I actually can't believe the total isn't 6.5. As it is, grab the over 6 goals. It's either going to win or push for sure. And last but not least, over to the NBA tonight. The Heat and the Raptors. The Heat won the 9th of their last 11 games on Friday over the Clippers. The Raptors lost for the 6th time in their last 9 games to the Bulls on Wednesday, where their free throw shooting was an abysmal 60%. Miami's defense is just absolutely suffocating on the floor, and they're one of the best three-point shooting teams in basketball. They're forcing the 4th most turnovers in the league, and they're 7th in defensive efficiency overall. You have to be on your absolute best on offense to even have a chance against these guys, and the Raptors just haven't been that the past couple of weeks. Pascal Siakam is up and down as a scorer, currently being talked about as a trade piece at the deadline, and it looks like Fred VanVleet could potentially be sidelined for this game. You take him out of the lineup, and this game will be over and done with early. I'm riding the Heat's success. I know -5 is a lot to cover in the NBA, but I think Miami can get it done tonight. Take the Heat, -5. That's going to be it for me for today, folks. Everyone bet safe, stay safe. Follow us on Twitter at LiveOneSports. Check us out on Roku and Fire TV at the Live Ones. Have yourself a great Saturday chock full of sports, and we will see you tomorrow.